Jerome Powell gave the clearest hint that we may be getting a rate cut in September at the next Fed meeting. I do want to talk about what that means for average people just like me and you, but I'm also going to be talking about AMD stock. People were really sharing their thoughts when I started mentioning stuff about AI in the US, battling for that race battle. So I do want to look at that chart. So stick around for that. Like, subscribe as well. Always feel free to share your comments. And if there's any topics or specific stocks you want me to take a look at, I will definitely love to talk about it. But yes, Fed rate cuts. It happens. So I almost just blanked out, but our chairman Powell spoke at this yearly meeting where different countries around the world come together, Jackson Hole, and analysts were just listening for any words that he was going to say to either know whether the stock market's going to go up or down. And he actually said some things. He kind of flipped the switch. Before he was saying that y'all should be happy I don't keep going up on rates, like we should keep going higher. That's when they said the labor market was doing good and they weren't gonna even think about it. Now the labor market done turned around on us, and he's hinting towards some rate cuts, and it's what everybody wanted. And the way he kind of delivered it kind of gave like, here, damn, like, here, this is what y'all wanted, like y'all better see, because they're saying now they're trying to get ahead of everything and to avoid a recession. They're trying to get ahead to avoid a recession. So they're going to possibly be cutting rates. The market loves this. It's great for the stock market to be hearing that. We'll talk more what that means for me and you in just a few. But yeah, he also didn't mention about tariffs. That's kind of like the one thing. He didn't say it was, what's that word he likes to use? Transitory. He stopped using that. He didn't say that, but he said it's like over a long term, like we're going to possibly be paying this tariff, because he has no control over what Trumpito wants to do with the tariffs and the deal. So we do know that, and I know that tariffs are going to get passed off to, everyday citizens, the consumer, the people who want the product. I think there's just no way to avoid it. I really will give it to any company who takes on tariffs and doesn't pass it on. I will support them more, for real. Why wouldn't we, right? Because that means they care about the people if they don't pass the tariffs on to the people, right? So, yes, that's what I expect. So things are going to get more expensive, and, that's the federal chairman's job to adjust the rates to kind of flow with what's happening. So, yeah, we're trying to avoid a recession, y'all. If you didn't know, if you weren't aware, that is what our government is currently trying to do, avoid a recession. And, I don't know if y'all seen it, but the job market numbers were audited, I guess, and they had to redo the numbers, and it was off by a lot. So I understand why there's kind of like this talks about cutting rates now, but tariffs is still an issue within our economy, just as far as like what we're going to be paying. So hopefully you understand that. If you don't, I can talk more about it another time. Just let me know in the comments. Now, what this means for me and you. So rate cuts usually affect things like auto loans, personal loans, savings accounts, credit cards. So as a consumer, as a spender, we'll be able to borrow at a lower rate. I mean, some people may not even notice. But you should, if you are borrowing money, you should know what rate. You should be very aware of what rate you're borrowing at. And that's just rule number one. But we could talk about more about that. But pretty much, if the rate's higher, they will get more money out of you. If your rate's lower, you always want your rates to be lower because your payback is a lower amount. Your payback percentage is a lower amount. So that's just the basic of that, if you did not know. So lower rates means you get to get into that rabbit wheel. So just be careful how you use your credit and how you utilize your credit, because they want you to borrow more. People spend more. When you can borrow at a low rate, people tend to spend more. But just be careful. Be very careful. All right, that's how they get you. All right. So yes, for savers, that means you're going to have to find new options. And when I say savers, I mean people who just don't want to invest and just keep money in the bank. I know a lot of us just like are very scared to invest in the stock market or anything else, think it's a scam, Bitcoin, whatever. They're just watching it go by. I used to be there, yes. But just know that when the rates are getting cut, as a saver, you are also losing. So you need to find, that means your yields, like the percentage of your yields probably going down. So it's not going to be as good if that's what you like to lean into. So this is a great time to invest. Like I always say, great time to kind of get your skin in the game, because you have to find different options. Like just parking your money in a savings account, usually you're most of the time losing value with the way that the dollar value is going. But that's why we have, stuff like Bitcoin going crazy, stuff like, stocks going crazy. It's a time to make money. I don't want y'all to be just sitting on the sidelines. I used to do it. Still to this day, there's times where I'm sitting on the sidelines and I'm mad at myself. So this is for us, right? Me doing this is our reminder, okay? So let's get into AMD stock, because I do want to start showing charts on the TV. Like I said last week, we're not going to get into depth. This isn't like Trading View. We're not going to be talking resistant lines. I think that there's other channels for that. But I do want to share stocks that I'm watching, that I think that y'all should be watching, looking into. AMD is a great stock, especially when you're talking about this AI boom, chips. Like if you want to try to swing and get in real quick on this good news, I never recommend people to chase the top, but I was watching something today that said like over time, if you're a long-time investor, no matter what time you invest in, stock market always gonna go up. So, but do your research, y'all. Do your research, because the game is to buy low and to sell high. You feel me? That's what I always say. But yes, this is AMD stock. If you want to get into the AI chip world, like these are fairly affordable for your average American. 167, you can have yourself a share. Just understand that the goal is to have as many shares as possible, full shares. But if you can only get in with partial shares on Cash App, I started there, y'all. I started with $5, $5 on Cash App. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen to my money. So I put $1 in different stocks, and I still have one to this day. We could talk about another day. But yes, this is one that I'm watching for pullbacks. Even though I'm already in it, I'm watching for pullbacks because I want more. I want in long term on AMD, big money. You feel me? But there's some other, competitors: Nvidia, Intel, Apple's kind of up there. I'm in Apple. I like Amazon too, and I like Google. I was gonna share a play I'm in right now, but we ain't even gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. But I appreciate y'all for watching. Finance, I told y'all we back, baby. We is back. We're gonna bring the Discord back shortly. Just give me a few weeks, maybe a month or two, to really just stay consistent with y'all and bring y'all some value here, and we'll continue to build and bring us all together for sure. But yeah, Finance, we back. Your financial news for your everyday creators and thinkers. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe. Y'all know what to do to support.